This is Season 2, Episode 24 of the Out of the Minds podcast. I'm Sean Oakley.
And I'm Sam Cooper, and I'm playing a fire spray again.
Yeah, we are continuing our practice for Balance of the Force, the Tin Squadron Day 2 event at Cornish Nationals. We've been using the 312 points for something a little bit different. Just a quick recap on the rule set. It's a little bit different to standard building. But basically, for every ship that is 6 points or more, you must take a ship that is 4 points or less, and vice versa. And as many 5 points as you like.
And then if you have any odd ones out, it can basically be whatever.
Yeah. And to that, let's jump into the lists. And I am running a bit of Empire this week. Because I noticed that Standard Vader was down to 6 points. I thought, we'll give him a bit of a spin. He's had a slight loadout nerf. I think he lost 2 points. But he's still got enough to take Elusive Pattern Analyzer, Fire Control System, and Afterburners. Which is great. He's 6 points. So to offset that, I have brought Marek Steel at 4 points. The pay-to-win Marek Steel. The one in the starter set. Because, he's down to 4. And he gets, obviously, his normal ability of picking crits. So you can normally pick the crit you want. I say normally.
We'll get to that.
He has Elusive, Outmaneuver, and Afterburners. Plus all the normal X1 stuff. I have Redline, because Redline's down to 6, and hey, who doesn't like a Punisher, right? And he is rocking Fire Control System, because I figured he'll be taking a lot of locks, Proton Torpedoes, Cluster Missiles, because he can hold 2 locks, so maybe you get the double modded double clusters. And then BT1, because I had 2 points left over, and I was like, hey, if people are stressed, that's extra crits. And obviously to offset that, I need another 4 point or less, so I've brought Duchess, who is 4. And she is rocking Elusive Predator, Thermal Detonators, and Delayed Fuses.
Yeah, interesting. So I'm flying Separatists again, because I only know one way, and this is the way. I have a fire spray, like I said. I've got Zam Wessel at 8 points, with Notorious, Savage Press, Contraband Cybernetics, Slave 1 for the Separatist title, for those extra crits, and a Boba Fett Gunner for some focus mods. To offset my 8-point fire spray, I brought a 2-point Vulture, the Iron Assembler, with independent calculations and shield upgrade, because in 312 points, quite a few of the Vultures get a ludicrous amount of loadout. Admittedly, there's not a whole lot of slots on them, but you can take some really nice toys. And then, filling out the other 10 points, I've got Sunvac with Marksmanship, Predator, and Snare and Targeting Computer, and General Grievous with Marksmanship, Shield Upgrade, Impervium Plating, and Solar Swan. So 2 5-point ships, just to round it out. And I've got a decent chunk of basically ships that can sort of fly solo and don't need to do a whole lot together.
We are playing Salvage this week, which is quite interesting, because we've both got ways of generating crits.
Yeah,
we've both got
marksmanship. I've got Slave 1. You've got 2 TIE Advanced
and torpedoes
and all that jazz.
We've also both got at least 2 ships that really want to boost.
And we've also got 2 ships that either get around it or don't boost.
Yeah, exactly.
So, because obviously Duchess's ailerons are not boost action, so she can still do it, and Sunvac's tractor shenanigans are not boost action, so you can still tractor whilst you're carrying a crate.
Yeah.
Which weirdly makes Sunvac the best die 6 to carry a crate with.
Yeah. So, objectives. Sam's first player for turn 0.
I place my objective basically as close towards me as I can in the centre, and guess what the Iron Assembler is going to do on turns 1 and 2?
I do the exact same on my side and figure one of the X1s from Duchess or someone, probably Duchess, will fly near there and pick that one up.
Then I put my one on the left, on my left-hand side, basically as far up towards me as I can, and as far out towards the left as I can, just to get it nice and spread out.
And I smacked my one on the same side, basically as close to the centre and the one that Sam's just placed as I can, because I want them clustered, because I think I come out better on a joust.
Yes, you do, definitely. You have more health and are just as hitty, if not more.
Yeah. I think more importantly, I think I've got the slight edge on crit generation, which will help on salvage. But we go to ships.
Yeah, because a lot of my crit generation comes from bullseye, and then I'm flying before you a lot of the time. Well, actually, no. The road aside, Grievous is flying before you.
Yeah.
Zam might not, and Sunfac might not. Yes, to the ships. So the Iron Assembler gets placed basically just to the left of the centre, facing along down my board edge and towards the right, and the idea being that it's going to do some sort of slow manoeuvre and then turn in and pick up a crate. And then I drop Grievous on my far right-hand side, slightly angled towards the centre, the idea being that you can either turn away if you deploy opposite him, or can sort of meander towards the centre and see what we've got. And then Zam, we've skipped the rocks, haven't we?
Oh yeah,
skip the rocks.
That is important. Oh well, the rocks are basically
about why I placed it.
Sorry, right.
I said I'm about to talk about why I've placed Zam so that she's going to escape past this rock.
Yeah, the rocks are basically in, as we're looking at it from the bottom, a U shape. They curve from the centre inside the objectives, with the exception of one Pride of Mandalore rock, which is in my bottom left. It's the three Pride of Mandalores and the three small rocks, so not a huge amount of table space taken up.
Yeah, because basically I was trying to spread out the rocks as far as possible. I have no reason for them to really be centred. Sure, I have the Iron Assembler, but if he's sitting on a rock, that means Sean can kill him very easily. At the very least, if he's moving, you have to, predict where I'm going.
Yeah.
So, back to Zam, though. I set up Zam literally directly next to the Iron Assembler, angled like slightly, so I'm going down diagonally down the board to my left. The idea being I can scoop past this Pride of Mandalore rock, possibly turn into the centre, or keep going, and I still have space to turn in again, depending on what Sean has done.
Yeah.
And I also know that a 2-bank will skip my Iron Assembler over the back of my fire spray, and then he, can still pick up the objective quite nicely. And then your 5s go down.
Yeah, so I set up red line to the left of the small rock that's on my middle board edge. It's the moustache rock. I'm going to slow roll, see where Sam goes, and then he's got enough space to turn into the centre or turn towards Grievous if he wants. And Duchess goes down on the other side of that to do the same thing. And then I make what I think it's a small mistake, but I think it's a mistake with Marek. Because I set up Marek opposite Grievous, facing him, not sort of turned in or anything. A, because I've got outmaneuver and I'm moving after him. B, because I think Marek is the perfect ship to hunt down Grievous.
Yeah.
Because he can pick the crits, so you can just bypass Impervium plating by dishing out pilot crits. And because it's the SSP one, I've got outmaneuver, I've got afterburners, I've got elusive. But I think this is a mistake. Because I think tying up my ship, particularly one of the X1s, takes much more out of the punch than tying up Grievous. And I think I should have just set him up with the others and had a better chance at nuking, honestly, trying to nuke Sunfac and the Iron Assembler.
Yeah. Or even Zam at that point.
I mean, if I can get all of them on Zam, great. But I think, great, if I'd set up, in fact, what I should have done was set up red line where Duchess is. Yeah. Duchess where Vader is. We'll get to that. He's next to Duchess. And then the 2X1's the outside of the rocks. Yeah, and just gone down there and just been a big, hey, I'm 4 ships at you. Because it would have taken
4 ships. I'm heading towards the objectives. You have to fight me at some point.
Yeah, it would have taken Grievous a minimum of 2 turns, probably 3 to get across the board.
Yeah,
like maybe you plink a range 3 at the end of turn 2, but unlikely.
Maybe like
Yeah.
that would change the entire scope of the first couple of turns of the game. There's no point going down quite into the weeds because
Yeah.
if there's no one opposite Grievous, I'd probably be a bit more aggressive with my moves with him.
But I keep forgetting that Grievous doesn't have outmaneuver. So while he's still a punchy 3-dice ship, he's not taking off my greens, which makes him a little less scary. And I think thinning out my ships makes particularly Zam and to a certain extent Sunfac if I get close more scary.
Yes, because Sunfac likes the 1v1. Like Sunfac lives for the 1v1. And so I play Sunfac, and maybe this is a mistake as well, but I play Sunfac on the left because my idea with Sunfac is, well, he's going to move forward a little bit, like decently fast, like maybe a 3 or a 4, and then try and pick up one of the outside crates on turn 2, depending on what you do. And I wonder if I should drop Sunfac next to Grievous and said, all right, Marek, here's Sunfac. Are you going to drop Vader with Marek? And then I have Duchess and Redline versus Zam, and Grievous and Sunfac versus Vader and Marek.
Honestly, no. Because if you'd done that, I either just send Redline up there as well.
Yeah.
Who obviously has a wide arc with medium base and torpedoes and can try and grab it. Or I just let Marek play, like, yeah, you probably annihilate him, but if I'm tying up 2 of your ships, then I've got 3 decent hitters against.
It's interesting because, like, if I can have the 2v1 versus Marek, I take that because then Zam and the Iron Assembler just don't fight you.
But if I launch,
again, this is getting into the weeds.
Yeah. But my take on that is if I launch myself into the objectives, you either don't fight me and then I go ahead on objective points.
I would happily take that for a turn or 2 if I could just take out one of your ships and then recollapse. But anyway, we are getting far into nonsense. For me, setting up Sunfac on this side is just either inviting a Vader opposite, in which Sunfac loses.
Yeah, that's road though.
Well, I think Sunfac loses to Vader in general.
I think that's partly positioning. If we get too close and road's in your favour, I think you can just dive behind him and nuke him.
Yeah.
But anyway, we don't do that. And I set up Vader next to Duchess. And that's it. So let's get into it.
So I place a Zam card. The Zam card basically doesn't matter a lot of the time. I do alternate it occasionally, but we'll mention it when it comes up. The Iron Assembler does a 2 bank to the left and calculates. Grievous does a 1 bank to the left and then boosts to the left, just trying to get away from any nonsense from Marek. And then Zam does a 2 straight, I believe that is. And I just focus because I'm like, okay, I can go around this rock if I have to. I can go slow if I have to. We're sorted.
Redline just 1 straights and focuses, as does Duchess. And Marek 3 straights and barrel rolls because Grievous has turned away just to get him a little closer into the centre. And I actually wonder if I should have just gunned down with a 5 straight there.
I mean, probably, like, I guess it depends what you thought I was going to do. Like, if you thought I was going to take the fight, honestly, 3 straight is probably better because you've set up better for the next turn. If you thought I was going to dodge, just 5 straight. Like, you've got to outmaneuver. Yeah,
well, that's what. And even if you'd 5 straighted, because you were turned slightly in, you're not getting quite the distance across the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. You boost with Zam. Sorry, I paused it too early.
Yeah. Then Sunfac does a 3 straight and just takes a focus because I don't know where Vader's going.
Vader just does a 1 straight and takes a focus.
Yeah, because the reason I boosted with Zam because this sets me up to 1 hard into the center, and then I can just reinforce. Because I feel like if Sean's going to turn in on me, he's going to turn in, and a reinforced Zam can tank a decent number of hits. I'm not planning on picking up a crate with her, and if I can just eat like the proton torpedo on the reinforced turn, then that's. Like, it's good for both of us because you're dealing damage, but I'm taking less damage than I should.
Yeah,
etc.
Yeah, and I have to think whether I want to do that into the reinforce, but
yeah.
So we go into turn 2, and Sam's first player.
Yeah. So the Iron Assembler does a 1 hard to the left and picks up the crate. Simple. Grievous does a one hard to the right, aiming back towards Marek, and I focus barrel roll to the right because I thought, okay, if Marek turns in, I was like, if you 5 straight, then I'm screwed. But if you turn in slightly, I didn't think you could completely dodge the arc, and then we're just trading guns.
Yeah.
Which is okay for me. Zam does a one hard, and I reinforce in the front because I just thought if either Redline and Co turn in and they're shooting at me and I want to reinforce, or they don't turn in, and that's honestly kind of fine.
Yeah. Redline does a 3 bank. I pick up the crate, and because of Redline's ability, I can acquire a lock, so I acquire a lock onto Zam. I do a 3 bank with Marek, and I opt to focus into a barrel roll. Basically, just to try and give myself better options for the next turn. It slightly favours you on the attack because you have 1 more red, but also I wasn't sure if you were in my arc before. I didn't want to give you the rerolls, so
giving me the rerolls would have been silly at that point.
Duchess just does a 1 straight and picks up a crate.
Sunfac does a 3 bank to the right.
Oh, it's even closer from this angle.
Yeah, it was close. I thought it was landing, but it was close to nearly hitting Zam. I take a tractor token, I rotate my turret to the right, and it's just unfortunate that I've lost road. So I move the turret to the right, so I can pass the tractor off to Zam, and then I'm on the crate, and I'm like, if Vader has gone moderately fast, I'm in trouble. I want to pick up the crate, but I can't risk that Vader has even a 2 bank to the right, and I think I'm in trouble if I don't have a token.
Yeah.
So I take the focus instead of picking up the crate.
Vader just does 1 straight. He reaches for...
And then I scream internally.
I reach for target lock. I've only got Zam, so I lock Zam.
I pass the tractor token over to Zam, because we hadn't measured Redline's range before stuff like it moved. I was like, I will just pass the tractor token because it doesn't hurt Zam, and if Redline has a miracle shot, I don't want to risk it, even at that range of a rock.
That's fair. Sunfac doesn't have a shot, so we go to Vader, who shoots range 3 into Zam. I roll crit blank. I don't spend the lock because I don't think I'm likely to blink much through, so I just use fire control system and then advanced targeting computer for 2 crits.
I roll blank focus. I forget momentarily that reinforce is a thing, and I go to spend the force token, and then Sean lets me walk it back when we realise that reinforce will just knock one of them off anyway.
Yeah, it was 1 going through.
Yep, so that's 1 shield off Zam. Zam triggers Notorious and takes a target lock onto Vader.
For the only time in the game, I think?
The only time I remember it, because I think we go a long time you not shooting Zam, and then when you suddenly start shooting Zam, I just forget to do it.
That's fair. Yeah, you shoot range 3 into Vader.
I shoot range 3 into Vader. I end up with hit, focus, blank. I Notorious to blank into a blank, spend the force for 2 hits.
You
dodge it. I can't remember how, but you dodged it.
Nothing from Duchess. And I do have a range 3 shot from Zam from Redline. And I do and ah about whether to, I suppose, waste the torpedo. Because it's single modded. It's
not a waste.
It's like, ugh. But no, I do fire it. I hate firing single modded torpedoes, though.
I understand what you mean.
It always bites you in the ass.
Yeah. Because you roll 2 hits and 2 blanks.
I roll 2 hits and 2 blanks. I re-roll the 2 blanks into 2 focuses. So yeah. So it's a crit because why crit actually?
Because you've got BT1.
Because I got BT1 and you've got a stress. That was it. And
I roll evade blank, and so I take another shield. And so the reason I think it's always worth it, because at this point, damage is damage, and you may not get that proton torpedo again.
Yeah, that's fair. I just think with Redline it's slightly easier because of his ability. You could almost always guarantee that lock.
True,
because it'll trigger off the bump focus and stuff as well.
That's absolutely true. The only reason I say I think you should still fire it is because I don't think having another one later would matter as much as being able to say, okay, cool, I'm going to start blinking damage off Zam. If I get more than 1 or 2, all of a sudden Zam has to start being like, I've lost my shields, and there's a ton of crit stuff around.
Yeah, that's fair.
And this is like the one time I'll be reinforced. So this is the one time I'm like, okay, I'm relatively safe.
Yeah.
But I'm still only rolling 2 dice into 4.
That's fair. Marek goes into Grievous.
I think they do nothing to each other.
I roll 2 eyeballs and I'm not spending it because I know I've got the return shot coming.
Yeah. I roll hit crit blank.
I roll 2 evades. And that's it.
And, yeah. 2 points to you, 1 point to me on points.
Yeah. And now I have a choice, because I could try and go into Zam, but I also know how damn fast and annoying the fire spray can be. But I think I've got a reasonably good chance of going into Sunfac here.
Yeah, and this is where I'm really annoyed at myself that I didn't pick up that crate.
Because I look at that and I go, if I bank in Redline and stop you being able to do like a 5 straight, I don't see where you can go that you can get out of range of his torpedo.
Yeah. Oh, I'm eating a torpedo no matter what I do here. I'm just annoyed that I didn't gain that extra point. And then if I did have that crate, I'm more incentivized to just try and yeet as far away as I can. Whereas here I'm just like, F it, Sunfac's dying. Let's see if we can take someone with him.
Fair. So you're first player again.
Yep, so the unassembler just does a 2 straight. And then because I forget the rules of crates, I barrel roll with the unassembler and take a calculate. And neither of us clock this.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
The Grievous does a 3 straight focus boost to the left. And Zam triggers contraband, and I 3 bank to the right. And then I believe I boost.
Yeah.
Yeah, boost. I just boost straight. Because I figured Redline was going... I figured people were coming after Sunfac. So I was like, okay, I'm going to try and set up Zam's arc to either catch Redline if he's going after Sunfac, or Redline if he's trying to catch Grievous.
Yeah. So I now make idiot move. Because I'm trying to block Sunfac with Duchess, because I think she's the only person that can get in there and block. So I ailerons 1 bank because I can, and then I 2 sloop. And that was stupid. I should have just 2 banked.
Yeah.
Because A, she's maneuverable because she can still do that pre-boost. I can get around the rock and back into the fight, like, next turn. Easy. I'd have an action so I could take a focus. I didn't need to recharge elusive. I'd have Predator if you don't bump. And if by some miracle Sunfac survives, he's going where the delayed fuses, where the thermal detonators can shoot. But I don't. I go for the 2 sleep because I was trying to block the 2 straight because they don't have a 1, right?
No, 1 straight.
I didn't think so. I just do a 1 bank with Redline who focuses and then acquires a lock onto Sunfac. And I do a 2 bank with Marek, which bumps into Grievous, and I should have just done the 2 straight here. Even if it missed Grievous, I think not being stressed
would have
been more important. Because I have to take the red focus because Zam's there.
Yeah.
And I have to admit, I wasn't expecting Zam to be there, but
there she was. So then Sunfac does a 2 straight, and I have quite a decent amount of clearance, and I'm like, okay, Sunfac's dead. Take a tractor token, rotate the arc to face Duchess, and then take a focus. So we're just going for it at this point.
Vader 1 banks, focuses, spends a force to move his lock onto Sunfac.
Sunfac passes the tractor token over to Duchess and just rolls the hammer.
Yep, 5 into 1.
I roll 3 blanks, focus. I mean 3 blanks, focus hit. I Predator a blank into a focus, spend my focus token, and then marksmanship for hit crit into Duchess.
I roll 1 evade. I take hit crit. The crit is a direct hit, so I'm alive on 1. But I do drop the crate.
Yeah, and that is important.
Vader goes range 2 into Sunfac. I roll hits. Blank. I advance targeting computer into a crit. I spend the lock to re-roll. I roll blank. I spend I spend a force. I'm not sure why I didn't just spend the focus there.
I think it's because you're maybe worried about Zam's bum shot.
Yeah. But I end up with hit crit.
I rolled double evade, so I only take a single crit, which is a stun pilot.
And at this point, I'm like, is Sunfac going to die?
I was pretty sure Sunfac was going to die. So then we get to Zam, and I've got range 2 into Marek Steel. And had I had range 1, I might have taken it.
I'm pretty sure it is range 1, because you said, oh, I really want to take this range 1 shot, but...
I'm thinking about a later shot. But Duchess is on 1 health and is tracted. So even though she's at range 3, I'm basically...
It's a range 2 shot.
Still pretty. It's basically a range 2 shot.
Yeah.
So I take the shot into Duchess, because she also has no token, and Marek does. I unfortunately only roll a single hit, and you dodge it.
And I dodge it. Duchess opts not to shoot, because I'm not risking the bonus shot back at me. Particularly because you'd strain me.
Yep.
And then we fire the second torpedo into Sunfac. I roll hit. I re-roll and end up with hit crit.
I roll triple blank and Sunfac dies.
And then Marek range zeros into Grievous, rolls hit crit.
I roll focus, spend my focus token for 2 evades, and I shoot into the back of Redline. I end up with crit, and I plink a shield off you.
You plink a shield off, which drops his crate.
Yes. Yeah, I believe yes, because you're somehow in Grievous's bullseye, which is an interesting find. But that does mean, although I've lost Sunfac, but I'm the only one scoring a point this round. But I will admit, in my head at this point, I was like, I'm in trouble.
Yeah, to be honest, I was like, oh, that went very well for me. Like, Sunfac's gone, Zam's used contraband and is stressed. But then I was like, I didn't clock at the time how important losing both those crates was.
Yeah, it really, really is clutch.
Because there are 3 things in this game. I think I won't say that lost me the game, but if they'd gone slightly differently, would have made it a lot easier for me to win. Spoilers on the result, and we'll get to those. But I think that is one. And actually, when we were chatting afterwards, I didn't think about it. It's not until I realised it was the same turn they both went down.
Yeah, and it comes back to that talk about crit generation, because we were saying how like your crit generation easier, but this just literally lined up that Duchess was in Sunfac's bullseye and Redline was in Grievous's bullseye.
Yeah. But hey,
the Iron Assembler still has a crate, although I'm pretty sure he's dying. I just assumed he was dying. It's not until you do what you do next, I'm like, oh, I may yet score some points. So I one hard to the right with the Iron Assembler, because I'm trying to basically keep distance from Redline and Vader, but like still like line up a little bit of safety, because I thought he was dead.
Well, I have no way of getting Redline on you because I don't have a 1 hard, and I think a 2 hard clips that rock.
Maybe it does. I wasn't sure, and so I was like, I want to maintain distance as much as possible, because you've used your proton torps, so range 2 is bad for me because of your cluster missiles.
Yeah.
And then Grievous does a 2 straight and focuses, because I just need to clear the stress and make space. And I don't want to dive into the depths of hell. Because I figured Redline was either turning towards the Iron Assembler or 4K'ing.
Yeah.
Zam then does a 1 bank and focuses, because I was positive Marek would be right there.
Yeah. Marek 2 banks behind Grievous and bumps. I have to take the red focus again because Zam's there. Because I thought you might boost and try and get away. But
yeah,
hey.
That's fair. I was absolutely not boosting into the death pit that was Duchess, Redline, and Vader when Grievous did I4.
Redline does 4K because I figured I could do a 1 straight next turn and I'll be in range to pick up a crate.
It was at this point that I was like, oh, the Iron Assembler might live this round.
Yeah.
Or at least I'll keep my crate.
And then Duchess does a 1 straight because she can aid once while stressed, a 2 banked, clear it, and a focus to get that range 1 shot into Grievous. And actually,
Vader does have 3 talents. This one I didn't see coming.
Again, I thought Grievous would be slightly closer in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do a 3 talent. I pattern analyze for a barrel roll. I spend a force for a focus, and I spend a force for a target lock.
Shoot my boy.
Yeah, and go range 2 into Grievous. I end up with hit crit.
After spending the focus, I roll evade, focus, and I spend my focus because at this point I was like, I might not roll another focus, just reduce damage, reduce damage, reduce damage all the way.
That's fair.
So then Zam. So this time I do go range 1 into Marek.
Yeah.
And I end up with hit, blank, blank.
I roll trail mix. I spend the focus on defense because I can't spend it on attack. It's a range 0 shot. I range 0 and end up with 1 hit.
I roll 1 evade.
Nothing from Redline, and then just the range 1 bullseye shot from Duchess. And I roll hit, crit.
And I roll focus evade, so that is 2 shields and a crit, and the crit was a pilot crit. We go to Grievous. Grievous shoots back into Duchess. And I roll hit, crit. And with marksmanship, I make it hit, crit. So, you know, we're just trading hammer blows.
Yeah, fine. Unfortunately, I only have 2 greens. I roll 2 evades, but I die.
Yeah. The power of only having 1 health left. And then the Iron Assembler has a range 3 shot into Vader, and I'm like, alright. So obviously, with my unmodded range 3 shot, I roll hit.
And plink 1 through. I remember elusive, but
yeah.
It rolls blank into blank. So yeah, plinks 1 through.
And so I've killed Duchess, and I score a point.
And it's 7-7.
Yeah. And then things are interesting, because I was like, my Iron Assembler is safe.
Should note that the pilot crit on Grievous was a panicked pilot.
Yes, I think I did mention that.
I think we just said
quickly.
pilot, but yeah.
Ah, okay. Yeah, it was panic pilot, which is important. Again, I'm still playing the game, but I'm sort of like trying to make it close, rather than maybe going for the win at this point. Because I thought I'm still far behind. Grievous, at this point, I'm like, okay, Grievous is in serious trouble because Redline's right there, Marek is right behind.
Yeah.
We're in trouble. I 2 straight with the Iron Assembler, and I double calculate. Because I'm pretty sure he's relatively safe this round, and I want to keep the rock between me and Marek, because Marek was the only one who could realistically shoot me.
Yeah.
And Grievous does a 3 straight and clears a stress.
I 1 straight with Redline. I focus lock Grievous. I 2 straight with Marek, and I take a target lock onto Grievous. Zam.
I have 3 Talon to the left with Zam just trying to turn around and get back into the game.
And I do, I think, a 2 straight with Vader to clear the stress. It bumps into Marek. I don't take a damage. What I should have done there was the 1 bank. Because what I wanted to do was, even if I bump into Grievous, at least I'm shooting him and I'm not self-bumping. Yeah. Because what I wanted to do was the 1 straight, but it's white on the X ones for some inexplicable reason.
Got to go fast.
The 1 banks are blue.
Yeah.
But I immediately, instead of looking at other options at 1 speed, I just jumped to, well, I can't do a 1 straight, do a 2 straight. And then the moment I moved Marek, I was like, that's in the way. But if I barrel roll Marek, I've got a much worse shot. Because I want that range 1 target lock. Because Grievous' shields are gone. I can start picking the crits that are going through. So I opt to just bump Vader. I kind of get away with it. So Redline just fires a range 1 primary. I get 3 hits after spending the lock of the focus.
I roll a single evade, so that's 2 more damage onto Grievous.
Marek goes range 1 into Grievous. I roll 2 hits and 2 focuses. I change 1 to a crit with advanced targeting computer. I spend the lock for blank crit, so 2 crits, 1 hit. Outmaneuver means you're down to 1. Yep, so you're taking 2 crits.
So I take 2 crits. Here we go.
And because of Marek's ability, I pick 3 cards for each crit, and I pick which one to do. So all I need, really, is 1 pilot crit in each set of 3.
However, in the first set of 3, there's 3 ship crits, because it's direct hit, hull breach, and fuel leak.
And at which point, I'm like, I don't care. Because you're just kind of.
So I take the direct hit, I impervium plating it, and all 3 get discarded.
Yeah. And then there is a pilot crit. I believe it's a stunned pilot. In the second
wounded
one.
pilot.
Wounded pilot.
Wounded pilot, I believe it was.
But it should be dead.
Yeah, on odds are he should be dead.
But it is what it is.
I don't know what is the percentage of ship crits to pilot crits. Like,
I don't know off the top of my head, but I feel there's at least a third.
yeah.
Which would.
Well, because I know. There's like a because there's like your average with Dirge drop 2 with pilot crits and direct hits, right? So
Out of 5, right?
yeah.
So that's almost 50%. That's like
Yeah.
two fifths. So hang on, that is 40%.
Yeah, so there's more ship crits than pilot crits because obviously direct
Yeah.
shits. Yeah.
But I'd imagine it's at least a third.
Yeah.
Which odds are you get average pick, you get 1 on each 3, but
yeah.
Again, it's it's another form of luck, isn't it? Like the dice. So and then Grievous gets to get the range 1 shot into Redline.
Redline. And I roll, believe that's
crit.
Just crit.
I
shields down on Redline.
Yeah, shields down.
Then the Unassembler rolls hit crit into Redline because he's a god, apparently.
I dodge it, but it's a direct hit. So down to 4.
And then I score a point for the Unassembler holding a crate, but I'm pretty sure there are 5 points on the table for Sean to grab up next turn. But again, this is one of those things where it's like Grievous has lived like 1 turn extra, which means you have to basically either Marek has to keep following Grievous, really.
Yeah.
The Unassembler does a 2 straight, and I cheat again by barrel rolling to the left and calculating.
Yeah.
It's only next turn I notice that I've done this, and I'm like, poo. Grievous does a 1 hard to the right because I was basically trying to dodge. I was trying to dodge Marek's move after me because I just thought, at this point, the stress doesn't matter. I'm Soulless wanting out of it or not. I'm just going to hope that you go slightly too fast and can't barrel roll in behind me.
Yeah. Redline does a stop, and I shouldn't have done a stop there. What I should have done was a 2 hard to the right. Because even if Grievous had blocked that, which I think looking at where he was, he might have, I'd bump.
Maybe
I'd bump, I wouldn't move much, I'd get a red focus. Yes. So I almost achieve the same thing with a focus, and if I don't, I've turned away from the god rolling Iron Assembler.
Yeah, but to be fair, he shouldn't be god rolling that much.
But at this point, I'm down to 4, and I am still a 1 green ship, which means those 2 reds do blink through.
Yeah, which actually the 2 reds do start blinking through, and now I've got to range 1.
Yeah, but I don't. I stop. Marek does a 1 straight because I was going to go as slow as possible to try and combat anything you do. And then I just focus barrel rolling behind you because I need arc.
Zam does a 3 straight, and I boost into the center, just trying to get arc on something because I really need her to start killing stuff.
And I 3 hard Vader, which bumps into Zam, and I shouldn't have done that. I don't know why I dialed the 3 hard. Like I had it vaguely in my head that I'd be able to arc dodge Zam with the afterburners and then Vader triggers. What I should have done there was the 4K.
Yeah, that's what I thought was happening, and I was literally just like, Zam will just have to take it, but Zam needs to shoot.
Yeah. But hey, that's on me. I opt not to take the red focus, because at this point I'm pretty sure I'm going to want to Talon roll the next turn.
Yeah, definitely.
I do the range 0 into Zam, which you dodge.
I dodge it. I flip my Zam card up, and it is the shoot back after I'm attacked. And I opt not to tap into Vader because it's range 0, and I'm secretly hoping that you sequence it wrong. Marek shoots into Grievous, and then Redline either doesn't shoot or shoots Zam. Basically, was my secret hope.
So interesting, because once you'd revealed that, I was never shooting Zam particularly.
Like I said, it was just the hope.
Like
that's all. At that point, all I can do.
It doesn't really matter which one I do.
Yeah.
Like Redline and thing, because Marek doesn't have the Iron Assembler, so
yeah. And I guess also, if I do shoot Vader with this double tap, you then know that you can shoot with Redline into Zam, or if we're range, and there's no consequence.
That's fair.
So I was like, I'm going to leave it open, so that either you shoot me and I get to double tap you, or you don't shoot me and then Zam's not getting shot.
Yeah, that's fair. I do the range 1 non-lock shot from Marek, and I roll 3 hits, which, fine,
So
you're
Grievous is
dead.
Yeah.
I think I only needed 2, didn't I? So
Yeah, you needed 2 hits. I roll blank into blank with Solus 1, I take some damage, and Grievous dies. So 12-8 to you.
and I opt not to shoot Sam with Redline.
Yeah. So Zam then shoots into Redline, I believe.
Yeah, range 3.
Because we do have range 3. And I roll... I think I roll basically blank focus. I spend the lock from turn 3 and roll it into 3 crits.
Oh, I was just like, oh, fuck. Alright, fine. I roll evade blank. I take a console fire and a
Damage
sensor array. Which I'm kind of okay with.
Yeah, they don't really hurt you that much. The Iron Assembler then rolls range 1 into Redline, and I roll... I believe it's 3 hits after I spend at least 1 or 2 calculates, I can't remember.
Which means I'm dead. Because I've only got 1 green, and I'm like...
Yeah, it was the 1, because I illegally barrel rolled, because I would just forget how to play this game, apparently.
But I was like, alright, okay, now I'm in trouble. Because it's gone...
Now I'm 14-12 up.
And about to be 15-12, right? Because you score a point.
Yeah, because I score a point. 15-12. Because the Iron Assembler still has that crate. So that's why things are interesting, because essentially, we've both lost 10 points worth of ship, but I've been plinking up that the objective.
Yeah. Whereas if I hadn't have lost both those crates...
You'd probably be ahead.
Well, either ahead or matching.
Like ahead or matching. And that is an important statistic. Ahead or matching, as you'll come to later. And now all of a sudden, it's basically Zam versus the TIE Advanced. Because, sure, the Unassembler's has been rolling really hot, but I don't actually expect him to do much against 3 agility. But I do just say opt into it and say, okay, I'll 2 hard onto this. It turns out onto the rock. I thought I'd clear it slightly, and I double calculate and I say, okay, Marek, if you bump into the Unassembler, fine, I'll take a range 0 shot. If you go past me, you're not shooting me.
Yeah.
Zam. Then the Marek does. Sorry.
No, it is you. So it was Zam first.
So is it me? Zam just 2 straights over the top of Vader, and I believe I target lock Marek.
Yeah. Marek does a 3 straight. I thought you'd turn in, but I didn't want a range 0 shot with Zam behind me. I wanted some distance. And I 3 straight. Afterburner's boost, and then I focus, and I should not have done that. I should have taken... I did it because I thought I'd have range. Sorry, I thought I'd be in range. I was taking a shot, make it 4 dice. I should have taken a lock at that point. I should have taken a lock just to get it out there. Like 4 dice, I'm full health, so I can take a hit or 2. I've got elusive.
Yeah. You're not holding a crit, so you're not trying to deny crits.
No.
Yeah.
Vader does a talent. I regret that I can't afterburners before I do all my pattern analyzer stuff, because I really want to boost in and then barrel roll.
Yeah.
But I focus lock for a force, and then I afterburners straight. I didn't think it would get me out of arc, but I thought it had the best chance of getting me out. Like a boost in means we trade range 1 shots.
Yeah.
A boost straight, maybe we still do. Maybe the arcs are weird. Like,
yeah, exactly. There's different options.
I do have range 1 into you, but I opt to go into the
Iron Assembler because the Zam card is down, and whilst I have a lock on Marek, if I can double tap Vader, I damn well will.
Yeah. Like, my thinking was save that lock for when I can get both X1s on. And also, I was still annoyed at myself because what I really wanted to do was afterburners in and then target lock the droid.
Yeah.
Which is why I was like, stupid rules. I spend a force for 1 hit, which you dodge.
Yeah, I roll an evade. So then I check Zam's arc, and Vader's range 2.
Which is irritating, because if I'd known that, I would have considered shooting Zam.
Yeah, but there's... How do you know that?
Oh, right? No, exactly. Like...
Yeah. So I go for the shot into Marek Steel, because I just have mods there. And I roll hit, focus, so I spend the force for 3 hits.
I roll 2 evades and a focus, so I spend the focus.
And then the Iron Assembler has a range 2 shot into Vader, so I roll hit crit,
And I
Vader
dodge
dodges
it.
And it's at this point that when I'm umming and ahhing up my move for the Iron Assembler, I realise that I've been barrel rolling with a crate. So I kind of tilt and I say, okay, the Iron Assembler's staying where he is. I'll let Sean kill him. That was my thought process. I think staying where I am is bad, but I'll do it because I don't want to profit off shenanigans anymore. So I'll just stay where I am.
The really interesting thing is, despite the fact you're clearly holding a crate, I was like, he's going to two straight and then he's going to barrel roll to the right.
No, right?
And I was like,
until I said, "Oh, poo."
I was like, that's fine because I'm just going to dial in a two straight with Vader, and you can't block that even with a thing. But yeah, there we go.
And then Zam does a one bank to the right because I was just hedging on where Marek was going because I wanted to go this way because this let me have outs that weren't completely screwed. Because if I went left, then I'm going in between the rocks where the Iron Assembler is and Marek is. And if you've gone right, I have no shot, and Vader might be able to dodge it. Whereas if least this back arc, Vader has to do a little bit more work to dodge.
Yeah,
I take a focus because you never know.
I go left because literally those reasons. I think you think I'll go right. I was hoping to be range 1 of the objective to pick it up, and I don't think that is. So I opt for a target lock, and I initially take it on the droid, and then I think I move it to Zam because we check range. And I think actually this is a mistake. I should have kept it on the droid.
To be fair, your reasoning is sound. Like Vader should kill the droid, but I guess the shield gets in the way of some of the math there.
And just like I know because you've got a crate that. Ironic that I remember it literally this now or after that you two straight, you can't barrel roll. I can hard turn and get a shot on you. Yes, it might not be range 1 or anything, but I could pick up the crate and I'd have the lock. So but Vader just does a 2 straight. I focus, spend a force, get a target lock. I range 2 into you. I roll eyeball blank blank. This is
where it gets interesting because you need the hit before you spend the lock to get the crit.
And so I opt to spend my final force to change the eyeball to a hit, which becomes a crit with advanced target computer. I then spend the lock into blank focus. I spend my focus for hit crit.
I roll 2 focuses and I spend both of my calculators for 2 evades, so I keep my crate. And this, I think, is probably that was probably the most important role of the game.
Yeah, this is we talked earlier about 3 things I think affected this game, and I think that and the next turn.
Yeah, like I would argue this set up the next turn was my point.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that the Iron Assembler still has a crate.
Yeah.
Is basically the most important thing in this game. Anyway, I shoot range 1 into Vader. I end up with hit, crit, because all of a sudden Zam starts rolling insanely hot, and Boba mods start ticking in. So Boba mod and Force mod is all I need, and I put some damage into Vader.
Yeah,
with a shield and a crit.
Yeah, shield and the crit is a stunned pilot.
The Iron Assembler rolls a single hit into Vader,
which I dodge. Then you score another point for 17-12.
Yeah.
Now, when I killed Grievous, it was like 12-8, I think.
Yeah.
So you've scored like 9 points while I haven't scored anything.
Yeah, the Iron Assembler has literally scored a point. We're on what round? We're going into round 9 now, and Iron Assembler has scored 6 points with that crate.
Yeah.
No, it must be 7. It literally must be 7 because I've killed 10 points of ship.
Yeah.
So the Iron Assembler does a 2 straight and double calculates.
Marek does a 2 hard and picks up the crate because I can't be hemorrhaging points much more.
Yeah.
I've got a shot into
the Iron Assembler.
The Assembler. At this point, I still think I've got a lock because I forget that I've changed it.
Zam does a 2 hard to the right. Basically, I figure Vader's doing a 4K, so I turn my arc that way, and I pick up the crate, because I've suddenly realised the points differential, and I realise as long as I'm scoring a point, it's going to be really hard for Sean to catch up at this point, because I've also clocked that we've only got 3 turns left.
Yeah.
And so there's literally only so many points you can score off the objective. I'm
Yeah.
almost at the point where Sean cannot win with just objective points.
So I'm at the point here. So Vader does a 4K, and I focus lock with Pattern Analyzer, and I am on R about the afterburners, and I don't. Because my point here is my thought here is if I can at least make you drop the crate,
yeah,
but preferably just nuke the iron assembler, and we all know Vader can do that. That's 3 points in my favour, which would take me to 15. So only 15-18 with 3 rounds left. If I... Hang on, 15-18. Yeah, if I score 2 points...
17-19.
If I... What? No, we'd be 18-15, right?
Yeah, and then you pick up a crate with Vader.
Yeah, so 19... Oh, no, yeah,
17.
19. Yes, it'd still be 20-71.
So I still win by 1 point.
This
is what.
But I could send Vader.
Still fight.
Yeah, I could still send Vader to try and.
Yeah.
Or Marek, or yeah, like.
Yeah, so this was my point. I've realised that Sean has run out of time.
I hadn't clocked how many rounds we've gone. Like when you were like,
yeah,
"Oh, there's one round." But
yeah, this is what I was thinking. Like this is why I was saying that roll is the most important roll, because that 1 point.
Yeah, it really does.
Sean cannot win off objectives.
Yeah,
he has to kill the iron assembler, and make Zam drop the crate.
Yeah, and survive with a 2 health Vader. Yeah.
So I think this is what people say when they say like it's like a checkmate scenario. Like Sean is now forced into actions. Although this is the funny thing is like I think I've realised this, but maybe Sean hasn't quite realised this, which is why some stuff gets a little weird.
Yeah. Well, I just hadn't clocked the amount of turns.
Yeah.
I
think that's it. Yeah.
But I roll hit focus blank. I change the hit to a crit. I fire control. I end up with 3 hits and a crit.
I roll evade focus, spend one of my calculates for 2 total evade. I take shield crits, drop the crates.
But that's game because I have to spend another turn shooting the iron assembler.
Yeah. Well, no, Marek still has a shot, but Marek doesn't quite get it.
Marek doesn't do anything. So.
And then I shoot into Vader with Zam, but doesn't do anything. And then it's 18-13.
Yeah, and it's GG because you're right. There's 2 turns left because
So I thought there's 2 turns left. I force straight with the iron assembler because that's the fastest blue. I still think I can pick up one of the crates that's been dropped. I do. Zam does a 3 talon to get it back around, and then because Vader has to keep following the iron assembler, he has to put himself in my arc. He does kill the iron assembler, and doesn't take any damage from Zam's shooting. Oh no, it does take a damage. You take 1 damage.
I take a damage because you shoot me.
Because you shoot me, and then I tap you back with the Zam card.
I
and
don't.
Then I shoot you again.
No, I don't shoot you. I shoot the iron assembler.
So
you shoot.
Right, no, I reveal my card at the end.
You shoot me, and then at the end of the activation, it's if you're in an arc and no one has shot you, double tap, which finishes off Vader. Because fucking Boba Fett bloody gunner.
No, I don't kill Vader. I never kill Vader. I kill
I thought you killed Vader.
No.
Oh, well, fair. I dodged that one.
Vader lives. I'm about to kill Marek on the last turn.
Oh, that's it. Right. Yeah. Spoilers. Marek dies from
full health.
From full health.
They're 2 rage.
Because I have to turn in. So Vader just picks up a crate because I got to. Yeah. Marek turns in because he's got to get that crate off.
Yeah.
Although at this point, actually, I hadn't clocked my actual like in theory.
Your win con is killing Zam.
Yeah, and I don't think I have the firepower.
I think you have the firepower, but you need to. Vader needs to stop rolling like 3 blanks in every single roll.
Like, but if I kill Zam and you kill Vader, that's only a 2-point swing.
Yes, that's true. That's true, actually.
That would be a 3-point swing because Marek would still pick up a point for a crate, assuming you're shooting Vader. Which means that I'm still a point behind.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, this game was interesting, and I do think it literally boiled down to Vader just wasn't rolling hot. Like he wasn't rolling average.
Does the game stop if you table your opponent?
I have no idea.
Because
I legitimately have no idea. Like maybe I feel like if you table me, I lose. I feel like that's a rule somewhere.
fair. Because I was just
even if I have more points.
I was just thinking that if you kill Vader and I kill Zam, and we've got one turn left and I'm 1 point behind, could I just one straight with Marek?
Well, I think we don't. Well, because we'll both be above 20, so the game stops there, right?
Oh, of course we'd both be. Yeah, true. We'd both be above 20.
Yeah.
Wow, this really was a good game. Like almost 12 rounds, high scoring.
Like it was a really. That's what I wasn't lying at the end. I was like, this is a really close game.
Yeah.
And it basically came down to one roll. Like, I think the game basically came down to one roll, and it was Vader not plinking the crate off the iron assembler.
I think that, and you getting both crates at the start.
Yes.
But yeah.
But I will say that I think me getting both crates at the start was luxury, but the way the game was going, like if you take out the unassembler that turn, you can catch up and you can win. And Zam, like you said afterwards, Zam can't catch Zam. Okay, it'll be hard for Zam to catch them because she's got a crate.
Yeah, exactly.
If you kill the unassembler and can run, but because Vader has to come back.
Yeah,
it sort of set you up for failure. Like at that point, I was like, "Oh, I've got this."
Yeah. There's nothing I could do at that point. Quite enjoyed the list.
Yeah, the list was good. Like, the list is solid.
Like, I think Redline maybe being Jendon in the shuttle might be quite interesting.
I mean, I think it'd be interesting. I feel like Redline could possibly be replaced by any punchy 6-point ship, and Empire's got to have a bunch, right?
Yeah. I was just thinking because then the X1s can get all their locks.
Yeah.
Early doors. Particularly Marek, who doesn't have the action economy that Vader does. And like in this game, if Marek had taken a lock turn 1 on Grievous, suddenly
that's a lot scarier.
Yeah. Or I just set up opposite Zam and everyone locks Zam. And I'll just be like, sure, if you want to come at me, then I'll take that bonus attack if everyone's launching the extra dice into you.
Reinforce away, Zam.
And let's be honest, it's not like the shuttle's got a bad set of reds on it.
Yeah, exactly.
One
thing I did notice, and I think I've been underappreciating, is in the late game, Boba Gunner gets really good.
Yeah. Oh, like, was it the last?
I always knew it was like fine. Like it's always fine. But in the late game, I was literally like, oh, well, I've got an X1 in one arc and an X1 in the other arc, so I've got free focus mods. And it was always going to be like, oh, Bobber and Force, or Bobber and Force, or just Bobber for getting like hit, crit.
I'm sure like at least the last 3, it was actually just Bobber and nothing else for 3 results. And I was just like, oh, can't do anything about that. But no. And I think
turns out 3 mods are good.
I think particularly in the Balance of the Force rule set where ship count tends to be 4 or less. I mean, you can 5 ship in it, but only in certain factions.
Yeah, no, this is the first game I actually felt that Zam was relevant. And it was interesting because if Zam hadn't started rolling super hot at the end, I was literally just like, oh, I'm having the flashbacks of, she rolls fine, but like I need her to be like, because she's 8 points, she needs to be like hitting like a truck.
Yeah.
And at the start I was like, oh, the truck, like she's not hitting very hard. I'm losing ships. I'm sort of trading after the fact, but it definitely feels like you kill a ship and then I kill a ship and then you kill a ship and then I kill a ship. And if that kept going, I just lose because I would run out of ships first. And then she turned online. Holy moly!
Yeah. But no, I enjoyed that. But we have nattered on once again for quite a while.
Yeah.
So we better wrap it up. We will be back next week with XWA points.
Hopefully, we'll never know.
Well, in theory, by the time I upload this, they should have been released a couple of hours ago, so we'll all be poring over them.
Fully expecting it.
I doubt we'll be doing Balance of the Force because honestly, we'll probably just want to be practicing normal stuff for seeing what's good and what's not. I'm excited.
I'm excited. I can't wait to see what they've done with Separatists. Here's hoping Droid Swarms are back. Come on, vultures. maybe not with 10 loadout like the Iron Assembler is here, because that felt kind of unfair.
Please, no 1 point vulture.
That would be hilarious.
No 1 point vulture.
Like 1 point generic vulture. A 1-pipped 1 point vulture, sure. I mean, it gets into every separatist list ever.
It can't be the Iron Assembler.
No. Make it like, and it can't be 311. Make it like 081, like the guy who can prevent crits.
Yeah. Like I think the vultures do need a loadout buff. I think that's how you fix them.
I think they even need a loadout buff, or their stuff just needs to become cheap, and you just accept that this is the vulture stuff.
Yeah, okay. Either basically they need more stuff to be.
Yeah.
Because I think the issue with droid swarms is, like, I remember when we used to play, when we first started playing, and we played Jedi versus droid swarms a lot because we only had Republic Separatist, and it would quite often come down to how can I judge where you're going, and then how many of your droids can I kill before it gets to your droids?
Yeah.
And that was always like how hard you're punching back at me would determine the game. I think the issue now is everything is a lot better at killing things.
Yeah, and also ship count has gone up, but max ship count has not gone up. Like if the cap wasn't at 8, droid swarms would still be good.
10 count droid swarm would be quite interesting.
Yeah, but again, the thing comes is like, if Republic wasn't limited at 8, how big could you go?
If Republic,
like because the Republic is like the big bugbear, right? Like I've seen the 7-ship Republic list. Like if
you could.
I guess maybe 7 is the cap.
I say you couldn't go 8 because we've only got 2 2-pointers.
Yeah,
which means you've got to take. Well, I mean, 2 2-pointers is 16 points, and then you're at most 5. So 7 is the cap.
Okay. Yeah, if droids could go higher than 8, then yeah, droid swords would be good, but you can't.
Yeah.
No, it's just the nature of the game.
Well, that's fair. Yeah, well, we'll wait and see what they drop. So, right. On that note, I'll just say see you guys next week.
Yeah, ta-ta. I think I'm going to go get some food.